Alrighty, so in this video, I'm going to address a common issue with the 99 to 06 GMC and Chevy Sierra Silverados. They have a common issue, I think, between them, in that the tow haul button, when you push that button, nothing happens. And so, turn a key on here. And when you push this button right here, you should get an icon on your display that looks like a little trailer that lets you know that tow haul mode's working. And I think my wires, there's wires that run down through here into here that are broken, and that's a pretty common issue. But yeah, I haven't started this thing up in a couple days. Let me start it up and I'll give you guys a quick cold start real quick. Got my little hula girl. Shaking up there. So anyway, man, that sounds good, doesn't it? So I guess we're gonna take this stuff off here and see if we can fix this wire issue that I think that I have here. So first thing we're gonna do here is tilt the column down. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand. And then we'll remove the trim. Just kind of pull back on it. Work your way around here. Be careful not to break anything, because these plastics on these trucks, it's very brittle. There we go. Once you get it down like that, then what you got to do, pull your gear shifter all the way down. That'll give you a little bit more room here to kind of pull up on this piece right here. And just kind of ease it over out of the way. Set that out of the way. Put it back and park. Alright, then what we're going to do is over here on the side, the fuse box cover, pull that out, take that off. Oh, radio knob, got to remember to put that back on. Okay. Now when you get down here under the column, there's going to be a series of bolts, 7mm I think. Got my little tool here. Take that one out. And then there should be, I think, one or two more here. Pop that down. Okay. Now we'll kind of get it right here. And just kind of pop her down, and there she comes. I'll set that out of the way. Alright. Okay, now we need to get the covers off this. There's usually screws in here, but this one does not have any screws in the bottom of it that I saw. So we're just going to have to try to be gentle and see if we can separate this cover here. Oh yeah, look at that. They're broke. Ain't nothing going on there. Okay. There it comes. Just kind of be real gentle with it. Over here the other side, see if we can get it kind of. There it comes. Right there. Tilt the wheel up. We're going to have to remove this tilt lever. I believe you just kind of grab it, pinch it, and pull it out. Alright, so got me some pliers. I'll just grab a hold of it right here. There it is. See that? Alright, now we'll go back over here and keep working on our column piece. Alright, so I went and found a torque socket that'll work. I think this is a T27, and it takes probably a T30 or something. But I think this will work. There we go. Then, I should just be able to pull that right out like that. There we go. That is where we're going to make our fix. Alright, now all we got to do is get this wire. The other end of it goes down to a connector down in there. So I'm going to get me a clip popper tool and some nippers so I can cut these zip ties and take these clips off, and we'll unclip it from down there. Okay, so I went and got my clip popper tool here. It's just a cheap one that I had from putting in a camera or something a while back. But right here, right there, there's a little clip holding that wire to the truck. So we're just going to fish that in there and pop it like that. There we go. And that one came out. And then we'll just start working our way back to this connector down here in the bottom. Goes right up into this loom. So I'm trying to see where it comes out. Down in the bottom, down there, and I don't see it. So I think what I'm going to have to do is take the instrument cluster out. So since we pulled our button out on our, all you got to do is grab it right here and pull that forward, and that'll let you tilt your wheel down. There we go, see? Now we got our wheel tilted down. Alright, let's see here. And what we're going to do is remove the instrument cluster to give us some more room. There we go. And the cluster's pretty simple. It's just a couple screws right here. 4 screws. Alright, now and just work it out here. Then you got a connector on the back of the cluster, right there. Right here you got a squeeze tab here and here, just squeeze those together. Let's switch hands here. Pop it out. Alright, there it clusters out. Alright, now we'll just move that out of the way. Now, back to our wire, which was what we were originally looking for here. It goes right up into that mess. Right there. And that's not even doing anything. Look at that. That's not covering up nothing or doing nothing. So we're going to remove that. Take our nippers, and there's a zip tie right there. See, I don't know if you can see it. Yep, right there. We're going to cut that zip tie off. Like that. Take the zip tie off, and we should be able to pull this junk off. Yeah, there we go. See that? GM, come on now. That wasn't doing nothing. Alright. So anyway, back to our wire hunt. Oh, there we go. There's the connector right there. I don't know if you can see it right there. Yep. So I'm going to cut this zip tie right here, and then that connector will be able to be accessible. So, where are we at? There we are, right there. Gotta be careful what you're cutting right here, because there's some pretty important wires right here. Just the zip tie. And we'll remove the zip tie. And now, I should really be able to, yeah, there it is, right there. So they put it in a spot where it's really hard to get. So I'm going to try to pull it back up through here. Here we go. Right there. The lighting is horrible. See if I can get some lighting. There it is, right there. So that connector, that's what we need to disconnect. Right there. Let me turn on this flashlight here on this phone there, see if we can light her up here for you. Yeah, see that? Alright, now to get that disconnected, what you got to do is you roll it over here till you can see right there. See that? Right there's a little tab and a little piece of plastic right there. So what we're going to have to do is stick something in there. Maybe I can do it with my fingernail, just kind of pull it up and off of that, and then I'll pull that apart, okay? So I'm going to attempt to do this without messing anything up. I don't know if my fingernail's strong enough. No, it ain't. Okay. Get off. That looks pretty good. Okay. Man, I can't wait to get a tripod. That's going to make things so much easier. Alright, so I'm taking my pick, and I'm going to stick it right in there, and I'm going to just kind of pry apart on it just enough, like that, and here it comes. Watch, like that. There you go. See, that's got that little piece of plastic right there. That's what sits inside that little piece of plastic. That's how they go together. So when you pull that away, it'll allow this, it goes by that, and then this comes up. That's how that works. Okay. So now we have our parts that we need to repair. This wire out here goes to this stalk right here. So we'll take both these inside and put them on a workbench where we can get at them, and I'll get you a better view, and then we'll make this repair. Alright, we're at the table now. So what we need to do is see if we can get this outer cover off. See, it's two wires right there going onto a cover, like some insulation. So we're going to try to strip off the insulation with a pair of strippers here. Let's see here. There we go. We need to give ourselves enough wire to work with. Oops, that was bad. I just stripped the one wire. That ain't good. So I'll just pull this back. Well, we got one wire stripped really well, all the way back there. So I'll just cut this off and tidy it up here a little bit. Okay, and we'll strip this other side back a little bit. Wow, that's pretty small stuff. So we're going to solder these together. And we're going to need some heat shrink tubing. I got a little heat shrink tubing. This is too big for this wire. Don't use this stuff. It's not going to give you a good joint, but that's all I've got, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut some sections here. About like that long, I guess. Because what I need is enough that when I slip it over here, see, that ain't gonna work. Not good. Right over here. Yeah, that's not much better. This is too long. So I'm gonna cut it in half. Just kind of eyeball it. There we go. That's better. Alright. Now before I get too carried away here, I want to make sure my switch is good. Before I do all this work, I want to make sure my switch is good. So what I'm going to do is take my voltmeter. I'm going to turn this down to ohms. Right there, ohms. And what we'll do, test it. We'll touch our two leads together, and that should go to 0. Okay, right there. See it? That's good. 0. Alright, so that's no continuity and continuity. Alright, so what I want to do here is touch one to each one of these. That's going to be fun. And then push the button. Like that. And then figure out how I'm going to push that button. Because I ain't got a third hand. That's be fun. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have to make some way to push that button. Alright, we're going to use this. We'll use this socket right here. And what we're going to do is set it up like that and then put our button on the socket. While holding these two. This ought to be fun. This will be a fun little test right here. Okay. I can't get it all on camera, but yeah. This right here will be something. Alright, so I'm pushing down on the button while holding all this together. Yeah. Let's see what it says. Oh, look at that. It works. I'm going to release the button. Yeah, and then push the button. And then release the button. There you go. Alright, so that means that our button here is good. Turn the meter off. We're done with that. Alright, we can go ahead and make our repair now. I don't think these are polarity sensitive, so I don't think it matters which one's positive and which one's negative. So what we'll do is just pick one. I'm going to start with this one. And then we'll just twist them together. Like that. And I like to turn mine around and kind of make it wrap around itself like that. This is not the best way to do this, but this is a good way to do it. It's better than electrical tape or butt connectors. Alright, next up is flux. The secret to soldering any joint is flux. Solder and paste flux. This stuff right here makes the chemical reaction happen in the solder and the metal and makes it stick to it like glue. So we'll just take a little bit of our flux here. It's kind of gross looking. Looks like wax kind of. Take a little something, just something to stick in there and get you some on there. Then you want to come over here to where you just wrap those wires together and put some on there and dab it on there like that. Right, like that. There you go. That's all you need. Not a whole lot. Just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. Then get you some solder. This is rosin core solder. This is good for like electrical stuff, and it's pretty thin. It's not real bulky. It's. Can I see what size it is here? It's 4060.050, so that's 50 thousandths thick. Alright. Now I got my soldering iron. I was heating it up off the camera there to get it good and hot. You want to put a little bit of solder on your tip. Right there they call that tin in the tip. Not enough where it drips or nothing, but enough to where you've got some on there. There we go. Alright, now take it right down to where you made your joint there. And stick it underneath there. Start getting it hot. Right like that. And you're basically just melting the solder on there. Right like that. And it don't take but just a little bit. Right like that. There you go. That is a soldered connection right there. And that's not going to come apart. Now we take our heat shrink tubing that we put on earlier and slide it over the whole thing here. And let's see, I've got a cigarette lighter or something here. Let's see. I don't know what I did with my cigarette lighter, but I've got the next best thing. Got us a little propane torch here. That ought to heat her up a little bit. We don't want to kill it. We just want to get it where it'll melt. Like that. We'll flip it over and get the other side here. There we go. That's a bit overkill right there. That's, you know, That's a bit much. That's a bit like, you know, shooting a squirrel with a howitzer or something, you know. That's a little bit much. Anyway, all right. So there's one down. Now we got to get this other one here. Right there. Got to get that one hooked up to that one. Okay. Now, got that together. Now we gotta slide our heat shrink over the top. Maybe. There we go. Like that. Get our propane here. Start getting our hot. Woo! Ow! I burnt myself. Ow. Get her good and hot. Okay. Alrighty. Now we got that together. What I'll probably wind up doing here is just wrapping this together here. Like that. Like that. And then just put tape on the whole thing there. And that ought to do it. So let me get us some electrical tape here. Like I said, this is not the best repair for this, but it'll do. Just get me some tape here. And we'll just start up here at the top. Put it on there. And just start working our way down. Like that. And keep tension on it while you're doing this. And they make a repair kit for this. You can actually buy the stalk and the wire and the connector and just plug it, you know, change the part and do it like that. But I don't want to spend, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks or whatever it's going to cost to do that when I can just do this because I've got this stuff laying around, you know. I can make this repair like this and it'll work just as good and be safe and, you know, won't catch nothing on fire or nothing. Not a lot of voltage going through here, so I can make this repair and it'll work. Because some things are just going to keep wearing out because you got moving parts. That shift lever moves and the wire is going to keep moving. And eventually it's going to break again. So this way I didn't spend any money really to fix this. So that's fine. Just wrap it around like that. There you go. Okay. That's a little bulky, but we still got our clip on here. Connector's still good, so that'll be just fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Alright, we'll go back and put it back in the truck. Alrighty, so we're back out here at the truck. Gonna put this all back together now. Gonna take our shift lever here and put it back in its home. right there. And we'll get our screw. Stick our screw back in it. There we go. And we'll just snug it up here. We ain't got to kill it or nothing. Just make it tight where it won't fall out. That's all we want. There we go. Alright, now take our wire and start putting it back through the hole there. Let me tilt our steering wheel back up here. Where'd my tilter go? There it is. Push that forward. Tilt that wheel up. Okay. Just stick that back there. Pull it through. And our little connectors right there. We'll stick it back in the little hole like that. And this wire goes up underneath there. And then we're going to have to get it back over to the connector under there. So I'll tilt our wheel back down. Okay. And this has to come through. There's our connector right there. Make it where it'll stay. There we go. That's where it goes, right in there. Right there. Got it. Okay. When you hear it click like that, that's good. There we go. Get some zoom action. Okay. So there we go, it's connected. Now what I'll do is I'll go back here and put another zip tie on this. And probably put that sheathing back on there again, the way it's supposed to be. So hang on, I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so got us a zip tie here. Put it around all this stuff here. See how we can do it with one hand here. Oh, zip tie certified, baby. There we go. Okay. So I got it right around that bundle right there, just like it was. And I'm just gonna put it right back there. That was right about where it was. So I'm not going to kill it or nothing, because this stuff does need to move a little bit. And we'll get us some nippers here. Nip that off. Alright, then we got this wonderful piece of GM engineering here. shove it back on there, kind of like that. I guess it's to keep it from rubbing, I guess is the thing, when you tilt up, to keep that wire from rubbing on everything. So I just kind of lay it in there, kind of like, I guess it's to keep it from rubbing on that bolt right there. Maybe when you tilt it up, the wires come up, keep it from rubbing right there. I think that's what it's for. I don't know. So I'll put another zip tie on it right there and hold it right there. Okay, so I put 2 zip ties on this thing. One there and one there. To just kind of help it out. So that's better. Better than it was. And that's my main thing, is to, when I make a repair, try to make it better than it was before. Every time. Alright, so that looks pretty good right there. Okay. So now we need to put the cluster back in. See if I can figure out how we took it out. Get one like this. Just kind of ease her in there. There we go. Take our connector here and line up our tabs. You got these 2 sticking up right there, and then when you look in here, you got one there and one there. So it's going to go like that. Like that. And push it in until it clicks like that. But before we get too carried away putting all this back together, let's crank it up and see if our tow mode button works now. Oh, there it is. Right there. Tow haul. Right there. See that? It works. Okay. Alright, now I feel confident. We can go ahead and put all this back together. Okay, so let's get the cluster back going here. Well, let's do this over here. I got it in my right hand. It'll probably be easier. Right there. Alright, got the cluster back in. Now, we need to put our covers back on. So, Okay, important tip. You got to start in the back first and then work it down. There we go. Alright. Yeah, start it in the back first and then get it behind the wheel here. Not like that. How's that look? That looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, now we get our bottom cover here. Try and get it in the position. Alright, so after some wrestling, I got the covers back on. And everything looks good. I'm going to replace this at some point. That can't be but just a couple of dollars to get that fixed. Alright, so after that, we got to put on, I think I'm going to stick our tilt lever switch back in. Right there. It goes like that. And just give it a push. There you go. Alright. Okay, now we need to put the knee bolster back in. So this has got two big tabs here, right there. Just kind of hold it up here and kind of get it started, something like that. Mash it in, mash it in. Okay, then we got two screws. Got us secure right there. That guy goes right back up there. I got some screws for it somewhere. Okay, now we have this little fuse box cover. It goes over here, two tabs, like that. And then we have to get this trim piece back in. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I got all the trim back on, finally, and got our repair made to our wire and our shift stalk cure for our tow mode, and everything is working correctly now, and that's going to be great, because when you're going down the road like an overdrive, and you know, it's just lugging kind of an overdrive, or you're pulling something and you need like a higher gear, what that does is the button changes the programming in the transmission to, it holds gears longer, like lower gears longer when you're pulling weight, you know, and it doesn't always try to get into that economy mode where it's trying to get into overdrive and reduce the RPMs to save you fuel mileage. So that's going to be a really good thing. I'm really glad that I fixed that, and I think it's really going to improve the driving experience, especially when it lugs a lot in overdrive, and I want it to be up a little bit to give me some more power. Or when I'm pulling a trailer or something, I think it's going to be really good. So, sorry this video was a little bit long and winded, but, you know, that's what you get into when you work on this kind of stuff is, you know, you're going to get into snags and stuff that's going to happen while you're working on stuff, and it takes a little longer, and my editing stuff is not where it needs to be yet. But, you know, hey, I'm doing what I can with what I got, and I hope that you guys have learned something, you know, by watching me do this, you know, in this video. So, like and subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. I got about 2 or 3 more right off the bat that I need to do on this truck. The lights, this light, there's like a backlight in here at night when you got your lights on. This is supposed to be lit up so you can see it to turn your lights on and off and stuff. That light doesn't work. And over here, these lights work on my HVAC, but these down here are burned out. So I'm probably going to do a video on changing those. And yeah, just stuff like that, you know. So anyway, stay tuned. Have a good day. God bless.